All right, everyone. You remember the fantastic cringe that was the Brat Girl Summer AstroTurf? Well, it appears to still be going on now into a second summer, of course. We're moving through May, so it's relatively warm. I live in Vermont, so, my idea of what summer entails is a little bit different from those of you in Florida or someplace like that. Tom Homan was responding to AOC the other day. And she was trying to do the finger wagging brat girl summer thing and was talking about ICE detention facilities and stuff like that and trying to be intimidating. Now, AOC reminds me of a chihuahua. The little dogs always bark the most and the loudest because they've got something to compensate for. And you may have noticed this. I mean, with some species exceptions, of course. Bichon frises, typically, they're rather docile and so forth. But you get a little yappy chihuahua, and it just barks and nibbles at your ankles incessantly. And it's like, dude, you're not accomplishing anything. You're clearly incapable of killing me. I mean, unless you happen to be a 2-year-old toddler or something, a chihuahua is not exactly a threat. Holman responds, link in the description archived, of course. If you take the live link, you'll be able to see the video of the full response. And she was trying to be vaguely intimidating and talking about, well, we're going to get you on this, we're going to take care of this. And just doing the brat girl thing, like that's sort of the new cringe meme from the far left, the brat girl summer thing. Coleman responds, he's like, first, you're not going to intimidate me. What the fuck are you talking about? He's like, I think that he was confused when he first saw the clip because he's like, what the hell is this bitch talking about? Then he goes on and says, look, Donald Trump has actually secured the border. This is not a bad thing. And I was thinking to myself as well, imagine the political reaction within this dichotomy, because that's what it effectively has become for the most part. You've got one party that is totally out of touch with the American people on this issue and thinks that if you just ramble about race rights and stuff like that, that you magically get elected despite neglecting our national security. You've got another party that actually is making an effort, and the Republicans generally don't make an effort. There have been past Republican administrations that have neglected the border too. Finally, you've got an administration that actually gives a damn about the issue and is trying to do something. Then they get legally injuncted. AOC is so wildly out of touch with the average American that it is astonishing to me. Like, they managed to find the most brain-dead far leftoid in the world and put her in Congress. Well, I mean, that doesn't extrapolate to a federal stage. Here's the problem. And again, we'll be talking about that veiny ass poll in today's live stream. Trust me, I'm going to laugh when I do. I'm laughing now when I do that segment. Um, AOC comes from a far blue district, and Homan correctly points out that because of the efforts of the Trump administration, her district is actually being marginally improved. It takes a lot of time, of course, with activistic judges, sympathetic people in Congress like AOC and so forth. It takes a lot of time to actually clean the streets up, so to speak, because you've got a shit ton of people in the country that are suffering. You've got a shit ton of people in the country that are goddamn homeless. And then you've got millions and millions of illegals in the country that the state preferentially takes care of instead of, actually helping people that were born in the country to begin with, which I see as totally unacceptable. This is changing now, but it's a very slow process because of judicial activism. AOC doesn't seem to understand this, nor does she appreciate the conditions in parts of her own congressional district. In parts of her own congressional district, there are a bunch of streetwalkers, people strung out on fentanyl. Look, this even happens in relatively red conservative states. When I was down in New Orleans, for example, and I know that New Orleans is more liberal than the surrounding, like Cajun territory or something like that. They've even got their own navy. There was one time, and I was like, holy shit. And there were I don't know if they were clean or used. I mean, I'm not gonna touch them. Needles actually sitting on the side of a trash bin. I'm assuming that they were left there by some activistic group trying to leave free, needles for people. Although, again, they might have been used. Probably tainted with AIDS or something like that. Imagine you get some maniac who deliberately taints the needle and then gives people a bunch of AIDS and shit like that. Could happen, just saying. Now, Holman, his response was blistering. This is one of the best responses I've ever seen. He fucking smoked AOC. He rolled her up and smoked her like a joint. Smoked her like a Hawaiian pork roast or something like that. This was great. So you should definitely watch the video. Holman, while he's not the most charismatic individual in the world, is really, really good at doing the grilling thing. And so actually, I'm hoping that JD Vance takes up the banner after Trump leaves and runs and wins. I'm hoping that Homan stays on in the subsequent administration because this was hilarious. Watch it for yourself again. You'll probably laugh too. It was great. That's about all. Peace out.